Welcome to the foundation. I'm Sot L, seeker of truth L, speaker of truth L. It's my absolute pleasure to be here once again on this very special episode. Listen, you know what the foundation is all about here. We all do. So we're going to keep it pretty quick, pretty simple. Render unto Caesar's the things that are Caesar's. And we just listen. I'm not trying to get biblical or anything. There's things going on with, you can look at the news, you can look at politics, you can look at world politics, you can look at nature with there's earthquakes, there's floods, fires, storms. There's a lot of stuff going on. And I just feel personally, passionately, that it's time to really comprehend what's happening, to really make moves, to detach ourselves, especially our families, especially our estates, especially our assets, our wealth, our money, real money from the state, whatever state you live in or you think you reside in, from the United States government, things of that nature. And we're just going to get into this topic. And I'm like I said, I'm not going to get biblical. I'm not. But there are things going on. There are definitely things going on. So let's get into it. Let's definitely get into it. I definitely want to thank everyone who's checking out the shows. Want to thank everyone who's been checking out the shows. Appreciate y'all being new listeners, long-time listeners, medium-time listeners. This is all about you. This is all about your family. So let's get moving. What I want to do is I want to jump in straight away and talk about our trustee training that we have here at the foundation. There's a link in the description. This is training. Maybe there's confusion as to what this means. And what it means is you learn how to create or craft trusts as well as administer them in the proper jurisdiction. Exactly what we're talking about. This isn't a thing where you buy a trust, you need another one, you got to buy another one, you don't know what's going on, you get confused. You don't know what to say to the IRS if they do approach you. You don't know what to say to anyone, really. People at the bank, people at the brokerage firms, people at the DMV, things of that nature. This is the course that clears all the fog with regards to everything I just mentioned. Everything and more. And more. This is a comprehensive training. It's not like a sale of goods. This is education. And of course, if you're going to learn how to administer trusts, you're going to learn how to create them. And I think that's the most important part, because you have to learn how to administer them. You have to teach your heirs how to administer them, as well as you have to know how to create them. You have to teach your heirs how to create them. We need to become independent more. We need to take more responsibility. We need to take more action. We need to stop thinking that because we can afford services and afford people to do things for us that we could do ourselves. I mean, I'm talking about from tax forms to mowing your lawn. I don't know what kind of lifestyle you live, but these are the things that that come to my mind, including those fund managers, these accountants, these gurus who get you into these investments or these vehicles or these Roth IRAs or 401ks that we don't even understand, and that they're not in the business of educating on us on how to understand them, because then what job are they going to do? Keep in mind that everything that you pay someone else to do, it's either because you don't know how to do it, which is 90% of the time. Why do you take your car to the mechanic? You don't know how to replace a radiator. You don't know how to rejuvenate a fuel pump. I don't know, man. You know, what do I know? Rebuild a transmission with your bare hands and some craftsman tools that your grandfather left you. It's the things that we don't know how to do. That's, to me, is very irresponsible. It's irresponsible. We got public education. I'm ranting for a second. We got public education, but where's the private education? Where is it? Where is it? This is private education. This is what it means to go private. It means that you no longer depend on state structures for the management, protection, and growth of your wealth, your private wealth. So look, let me just jump into this. Look, decree. Let's get into the decree. Money by decree. Money by decree, y'all. What is Caesar's? And they, you know, I think in the Bible, said what was the face on the coin, right? Okay, we're not dealing with coins too heavy. And then they put, you know, president's face on them and stuff. They're on some confusion dance. You got to recognize the confusion dance. But what's the name on the currency? We can say that. Decree is a judgment. Is a decree in the field of law refers to an official order that is created and handed down by an authority figure, typically a judge. You'll have presidents, executive orders. I would say those are decrees as well. So a type of decree. It's an official order created and issued by someone with legal authority. Decree. Who created the money? Whose face is on the money? Whose name is on the money? Is it money? First, let's look. I'm not going to get into that. If you listen to the foundation, I'm sure you've heard this conversation. So I won't digress. Excuse me. What I will do is I will say that whatever name or face or whatever's on the currency, the coupons, the vouchers, it's the voucher system. That's who it belongs to. Who that? Get up out of here. That's who it belongs to. So if it belongs to someone, it's not real money. If someone has a claim to it, it's different. Real money is gold, silver, land, precious metals, cars, commodities, corn, wheat, wealth. It's not currency. These are the coupons. So when a currency is controlled, who controls the currency? I think it was Sir Amschel Rothschild that said, give me control of a nation's currency and I care not who makes their laws. Y'all can look it up. I don't know. I'm crazy. You know, I could have just made that up on the spot. You know what I mean? I mean, if I did, that's some amazing stuff. It's out of this world, as a matter of fact. But look, let's get into the IRS, because I want to get into this pragmatic, or as pragmatic as possible, right? So who made it? Whose name's on it? Whose name's on it? I mean, with the title to the so-called vehicles, whose name's on it? Right? And then let's say you talk about mortgages. Where is it registered? Whose name is it registered in the Regis? Like, what does register mean? What's the etymology of that word? Whose name's on it? Let's get to business structures, because this is where it, because there's two parts of it, right? It's kind of convoluted. The first part is who created the currency, and the second part is who or what is utilizing the currency. Those are the two parts. Understand what I'm saying. Who created the currency? Who or what is utilizing the currency? Receiving it, sending it. Let's just say receiving and sending. Let's just say that. You can say buy and sell. It doesn't matter because there's gifts, there's loans, receiving and sending the currency. And then what or who is doing it, right? So you listen, when beginning a business, you must decide. So like most people figure out pretty quickly that the individual is not the way to go. Like sole proprietorships, that's what this is. Sole proprietorships, right? Not the way to go. So they try to level up, but you got to understand whose name is on it. What name is on it? When you're beginning a business, you must decide what form of business entity to establish. Your form of business determines which income tax return form you have to file. The most common forms, we're going to go back to this. Most common forms. The most common forms of business are the sole proprietorship, the partnership, corporation, and S corporation. A limited liability company, LLC, is a business structure allowed by state statute. Y'all, legal and tax considerations enter into selecting a business structure. And then it says, look, for additional information, refer to Small Business Administration's webpage. Let's do that. Let's blah, blah. Okay, boom. Choose a business structure, content. The business structure you choose influences everything from day-to-day operations to taxes and how much of your personal assets are at risk. You should choose a business structure that gives you the right balance of legal protections and benefits. Right? Your business structure affects how much you pay in taxes, your ability to raise money, the paperwork you need to file, and your personal liability. You'll need to choose a business structure before you register your business. Register with the state. And that just means which paperwork do you fill out? Is it articles of organization, articles of incorporation? Organization would be LLCs and corporations would be corporations. You also have partnerships, so on and so forth. But here's the deal. Sole proprietorship is easy to form and gives you complete control of your business. You're automatically considered to be a sole proprietorship if you do business activities, but you don't register as any other kind of business. Y'all get that? So you're a sole proprietor if you're selling on, Craigslist or eBay or, and you haven't registered a business or any other types of structure. You're a sole proprietor. Sole proprietorships do not produce a separate business entity. It's not separate. This means your business assets and liabilities are not separate from your personal assets and liabilities. All bad. This is doing business in the individual name, doing business with the individual. And that's what everybody does when they get a job, when they get employment. Oh, who said that? I'm crazy. Don't believe me. Don't think about it. What I just said, don't ever think about what I just said again. I won't even say it again. But it's true, or is it? Is it? This means your business assets and liabilities are not separate from your personal assets and liabilities. Business assets and liabilities, right? Go to work. Got assets and liabilities. What's liability? Got to work. The labor, right? What's the asset? Check. I don't know. There's more assets. You might have a company car, company phone, things of that nature, but we got labor, liability, asset, checks. Okay, so if that business goes out of business, do those personal business assets affect your personal? I'm sorry, the business assets and liabilities affect your personal assets and liabilities? Absolutely. Where's the check? Personally, that's all bad. You can be held personally liable for debts and obligations of the business. And of course, this is if, you just out here with your name. So proprietorships or proprietors are still able to get a trade name. It can be also hard to raise money because you can't sell stock and banks are hesitant to lend to sole proprietorships. They will. It's just personal line of credit. They can be a good choice for low-risk businesses and owners who want to test their business idea before forming a formal business. I don't know why, because it's the highest tax bracket. And there's no expenses. There's nothing, to offset those. What do I know? What do I know about taxes? I'm not an attorney. I'm not an accountant. I have no, what do you call them? Permits, licenses, any of those things. Partnerships. Simplest structure, 2 or more people own a business together. There are 2 common kinds of partnerships, a limited partnership and a limited liability partnership. The limited liability partnerships give limited liability to every owner. And the LLP protects each partner from debts against the partnership. They won't be responsible for actions of other partners. While a limited partnership have only one general partner with unlimited liability, and all other partners have limited liability. And a limited liability company, LLC, takes advantage of both the corporation and the partnership. They protect personal liability in most instances. Your personal assets, like your vehicle, house, and savings accounts, won't be at risk in case the LLC faces bankruptcy or lawsuit. I was going to say files bankruptcy, but whatever. I didn't write this. Profits and losses can be passed through to your personal income without facing corporate taxes. However, members of an LLC are considered self-employed and must pay self-employment taxes, contributions, towards Medicare and Social Security. You have to, no choice. LLCs can have a limited life in many states. When a member joins or leaves an LLC, some states may require the LLC. Listen, what about the members that aren't actually individuals, though? They don't really touch on that. That's kind of crazy. LLCs can have a limited, I already said that. When a member joins or leaves an LLC, some states may require the LLC to be dissolved and reformed and requirements, and you have to, unless there's agreement in place. LLCs can be a good choice for medium or higher risk businesses, owners with significant personal assets they want protected, and owners who want to pay a lower tax rate than they would with a corporation. Corporation, y'all know what a corporation is. Sometimes called a C Corp. It's a legal entity that's separate from its owners. It has stocks. Corporations can make a profit, be taxed, and can be held liable legally. Corporations offer the strongest protections to its owners from personal liability. I'm sure that, this is within this list, right? Because that isn't the correct. It's not correct. We'll talk about that in a second. But the cost to form a corporation is higher than other structures. Corporations are also required more. They require, more extensive record keeping, operational processes, and reporting. Unlike sole proprietorships, partnerships, and LLCs, corporations pay income tax on their profits. So if a corporation doesn't profit, right? In some cases, corporate profits are taxed twice. First, when the company makes a profit, and again, when dividends are paid to shareholders on their personal tax returns. That makes sense, right? If there's a profit, corporations have a completely independent life separate from its shareholders. If a shareholder leaves the company or sells his or her shares, a C Corp can continue doing business relatively undisturbed. Yeah, because the owners, the shareholders generally aren't going to be administering the corporation. They're not executives or, some type of operational requirement within the company itself. S Corp, special type of corporation that's designed to avoid the double taxation drawbacks of C Corps. S Corps allow profits and some losses to be passed through directly to owners. Not all states tax S Corps equally. Oh, so all of these things are taxed by state. Closed corporation, I'm just going to start skipping because I'm getting bored. I got ADD. Benefit corporation, closed corporation. These are different corporations, nonprofit corporations. A cooperative. I shop at a co-op. Bomb fruits. Combine different business structures. Some, you can combine them. It's possible for an LLC to be taxed as a C Corp. That's the 8832, IRS Form 8832, or an S Corp. the IRS Form 2553, or a nonprofit. That would be, apply for a tax exempt status, regardless of what the type of corporate is. Compare business structures. This is a cool little thing. It's a cool little dance, y'all. Sole proprietorship, they break it down. One person, unlimited personal liability. Ouch. Partnership, unlimited personal liability. Ouch. Limited liability company. Owners are not personally liable. C Corp, owners are not personally liable. S Corp, owners are not personally liable. Same thing with a corporate, a benefit corporation as well as a nonprofit. So they break it down, right? Let's go back to, what was it? This one right here, blah, blah. Where they were saying, remember I said we get back to this? I'm surprised I remember. No, I'm not. I got the definitions right here. Common, the most common forms. Understand what that? Let's go to the dictionary. What does common mean? Common, of or relating to a community at large, public. A community. That's not everybody though. Okay. Known to be a community. The second instance of the definition, whoops, the wrong way on the scroll button. Belonging to or shared by two or more individuals or things or by all members of a group. A group of individuals or things, right, would just be a group. If it was all of them, it wouldn't be a group. It'd be all of them. You'd have to have another group or other groups for this group to exist, right? Logic. We're just applying logic. Belonging equally or to or more mathematical entities having two or more branches, two or more, occurring or appearing frequently. I like that one. Frequently, not all the time though. You understand where I'm going with this? Let's get to uncommon. Uncommon, it's an adjective, just like the previous one, not ordinarily encountered, unusual, remarkable, exceptional, uncommon. I would say that what we do here at the foundation is exceptional. Uncommon, it's absolutely remarkable. Because we look, this is all about trust administration. Let's go to trusts. What's the trust? Oh, well, the IRS has a publication. They popped it off in 2003. This is trust, common law, and Internal Revenue Code 501c3. This is the most important thing that I want you to see. Common law, irs.gov. You can look this up. Punch this into Google. DuckDuckGo, I don't know what you use. Punch it in. I'm not making any of this up, although I may be crazy. This is a true document. This is from the IRS. Common law. Before we do that, let's go over here. This is Law Shun? I don't know. Cool little website out of Oregon. They got you can log in, you can become a member. They got a lot of stuff on different law with regards to government, education, knowledge, business, entertainment law, all that stuff. Look at their related posts. Law students attend CLE events, veto power, Congress. Look. This is understanding common law of contracts. What is this man talking about when this dude shows over here all in my ear talking about common law? What? Contracts are part of everyday life. Yes, they are. Buying a house to signing up for a gym membership. A contract is a legally binding agreement between two or more parties, creating mutual obligations that are enforceable by law, my bad. Not common law, by law. The common law of contract is primarily concerned with transactions involving real estate. Primarily. Not exclusively. Services, employment, and intangible assets. Common law contracts are guided by tradition and court decisions. Tradition. And court decisions, and require an offer, acceptance, consideration, and mutual assent. We like to say offer, acceptance, performance, consideration. Well, the 5. Meeting of the minds, offer, acceptance, performance, consideration. Right? That's what we talk about over here. Formation, right? Offer, one party promises to do something or refrain from doing something. Consideration, something of value is offered in exchange for the above stated action or inaction. Acceptance must be a mirror image of the offer. Should be concluded between parties of equal awareness and bargaining power. This is the contractual obligations. Legality cannot be formed to do something illegal. Capacity, parties must be of legal age and have the mental ability to understand what they're agreeing to. Common law governs contracts for real estate, services, employment, and intangible assets. Statutory law requires certain types of contracts to be in writing and executed with particular formalities, and these would be the type of contracts that would be evidenced in the public or in a state court or something of that nature. Private law includes the terms of the agreement between the parties exchanging the promises. Y'all, I'm just trying to lay the breadcrumbs because I've comprehended and known this knowledge for a long time. And then it just got to the point where it was like, listen, I felt bad. You want to know the truth? You can handle the truth. You can handle it. I felt bad. I'm not one of them people that just like to be holding down some information or have something that no one else has. It's not cool. I like team playing. I pass the ball when I'm not a ball hog. And plus, this particular subject not only holds a special place in my heart because it changed my life and the life of my families once I comprehended this, right? But this particular subject can alleviate so many issues with so many people and so many families and can negate so many problems just as soon as it just clicks in your mind. And then you start acting. When you start being responsible and you take action. Act. Accountability, confidence, trust. ACT. Accountability. Y'all understand what I'm saying. It's about responsibility, number one. But when you comprehend, includes the terms private law. What is the private law? It's the terms of the agreement. Everything. Article 1, Section 10, in part, states, this is the Constitution for the United States of America. Article 1, Section 10, in part, states, no state can pass any law impairing the obligation of contract. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell y'all right now? The private law is the contract law. The law, what the contract itself says. I can't. Okay, so let's get back to the IRS, and I'm gonna get out your hair. Listen, okay, so trust, common law, right? And why is the IRS talking about common law? They did it. Look, the service published a lengthy and sophisticated discussion of trust with particular detail on split interest trusts. It's the trust primer. I've studied that trust primer from the IRS. Do you know the IRS has a trust primer? But when it comes to talking about the private side, they're quiet. They're quiet. But listen, this is all you need to comprehend, right? The following questions and answers discuss basic definitions, distinctions, and rules regarding trusts. What? Hold on, let's go back up here. The common law and the Internal Revenue Code. Hold on, I saw it. Where was that? The services. This article will discuss common law and federal tax definitions, distinctions, and rules regarding trusts with the focus on charitable trust and IRC 501c3 and some discussion of IRC 4947. Yo, they said it. I'm trying to see where they found. Oh, look. The following. Yep. Okay. Maybe I'm on the right track. I'm sorry. I'm live, y'all. State law creates legal interests and rights. Federal tax law designates what interests or rights so created shall be. Okay. So this is some stare decisis. The law in a particular state may differ from general rule discussed below, so it may sometimes be necessary to refer to the law in the state. Okay, you got to understand where they're going, right? So you off the top, they say common law, which is private law, and then they start talking about state. So you understand the position. You have to understand the position. You You don't have to understand why the position is the position or why they are in that position. Just understand the position. Check this out. Kind of organization. What is a trust? Ooh. And this is the stuff I like, right? The most common forms of trust. The most common forms of business, right? Trusts are one of the major forms of organization. What? For federal tax purposes. Hold on, what? Along with corporations, partnerships, and government. Hey, I can't make this up. I mean, y'all see this? Hold on, y'all see this? Most common? And then where's the trust at? Y'all see trusted? Wait. Let's highlight the whole thing. Well, because they did LLC right here too. The most common forms of business, and then you'd be like, what? They're saying business though. They're saying business. Hold on, let me get that. What we got here? Trusts are defined. That's the definitions. Let me just go through this. The restatement, which is the second one of trust in 1959, here and after restatement, defines trusts generally as a fiduciary relationship with respect to property, subjecting the person by whom the title to the property is held to equitable duties to deal with the property for the benefit of another person, which arises as a result of a manifestation of an intention to create it. Yo. Okay, so like let's just relax on the rest of that sentence, right? Because that was just one sentence. Let's relax on it. Which arises as a result of a manifestation of an intention to create it. You know what they're saying? It arises, right? So it's made. It arises. It is created, right? Right? It's established. Other synonyms? Help me out, y'all. My bad. I can't hear y'all. Which arises as a result. It is created as a consequence, right? The result is a consequence, right? It's created as a consequence of a manifestation of an intention to create it. Yo, how do you manifest an intention? Write it down. Why didn't they say that? Which arises from a result of manifestation of an intention to create it, which are created by being written down. A manifest. Wow. You see how they try to get people? They think we're stupid. An arrangement, listen, created either by will or inter vivos declaration. Inter vivos. This is while alive. Why don't they say that? Because they're trying to be tricky. Declaration. Whereby trustees take title to property for the purpose of protecting and conserving it for the beneficiaries under the ordinary rules applied in chancery or probate courts. Hold on, see? They showed their hands. They showed their hand. What? Generally speaking, an arrangement will be treated as a trust under the Internal Revenue Code if it can be shown that the purpose of the arrangement is to vest in trustees responsibility for the protection and conservation of property for beneficiaries who cannot share in the discharge of this responsibility and, therefore, are not associates in a joint enterprise for the conduct of a business profit. Business profit. Huh. Wait. Where was I? It's right here. Most common forms of business. Go back. Therefore, are not associates in a joint enterprise for the conduct of business profit. Excuse me. The regulations emphasize the non-business character of the activity. Thus, a trust for state law purposes may be treated as a corporation or partnership for federal tax purposes. Ooh. However, both definitions emphasize a relationship among several parties. So they got the trustor and all this stuff. Look, what is your point? I guess if my point hasn't been made, I have no problem restating it at all. Bottom line, there are other types of way to do business. And remember when I said the currency being used and the person or thing using it. You use a state structure, whether it's a sole proprietorship, birth certificate, state, whether it's a partnership agreement at the Secretary of State, whether it's a corporation, articles of incorporation at the Secretary of State, whether it's S corporation, articles of organization for an LLC, and then an election, the IRS form 2553. Limited liability company, which can elect to be an S corporation or can elect to be a C corporation, but they're organized at the state nonetheless. That's the person. That's the one using the currency, the coupons, the vouchers, right? So the utilization of the coupons and vouchers, and then whoever is using the coupon and vouchers. Those are the two. If you can avoid the one, this is where you're getting to the area of what they call legal tax avoidance, but I'm crazy, so don't believe me. I'm not a lawyer. I can't give tax advice, legal advice. I don't know anything about taxes. Anything. I don't know anything. I don't even know what website I'm on. What website is this? What is IRS? What does that mean? IRS sideways? I'm clowning, but I'm not though, because I have no public permit or license, and I will never get one ever for any public activity that's licensed. No. I don't know anything about it. I don't know what you're talking about. But when you get to this, you get to this, right? You look at this, you start looking, and they say, okay, you got the IRS talking about common law. What? Why? And you look at this, and they're saying, okay, private law. Ooh, wait. What? Includes the terms of the agreement. So what if the agreement itself says specifically that state statutory law does not apply to this structure, to this trust? And the federal Constitution, Article 1, Section 10 states in part that no state shall pass any law impairing the obligation of contracts. And the obligation of that contract is to keep the state statutory law away from it. What then? Now you understand how people, what? I mean, the backhand slap of legally avoided taxes. I'm not like, oh, well, we can expense this and we can 1031 exchange. Listen. Oh, I wish I could break it down just so heavy. I don't want to get banned because look, all this will be gone, right? It's like 300 something episodes. 10 years will be gone, right? I can only say so much on these airwaves. I know. I can only say so much. And then I try to keep it extra thorough, and all I use is public source. I go to the IRS website so much. What are you gonna say? I was at the IRS. This is what it says on the IRS website, man. I'm establishing a record and substantiation before I need it. That's what trustees do. That's what executives do. You listen. Before the fight is even begun, there's already a winner. Especially in this stuff. I mean, I wish I could just break, but listen to what I'm saying. Rewind this, download, whatever you got to do. Rewind it. What did I just say? That's the power of contract. You will watch what is it called? It's called the presentation of power. It's a presentation. It's not real. You will see it before, and they'll start talking, and they'll look at you like you crazy, and then you can talk to people like me more because no one else is really. Stuff gets weird. Things get real silly. You be like, man, why do I even do this anymore? This isn't even serious. Why do I even talk about this? Life changes. Life changes for real. It changes for real. We could talk about the heartbeat and how freaked out you. Listen. First time I went and opened one of these I printed off my printer, and it was crazy. And then I went into the bank, Just looking for the feds to come. I mean, listen, and then you get a month or 2 months and 4 months and a year and 2 years and 5 years and 7 years and 10, and you get, and no feds, no Department of Justice, nothing. And you know what you're doing. And you know what you're not doing. And I know that there are certain checks that are not being written. There are certain, transfers of vouchers, currency, that's not going to this state revenue department or this federal. 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. And you'd be like, why did I not do this sooner? Any issue, trustee of a private trust can represent the trust in a court matter. LLCs, corporations must be represented by an attorney, must every time. If you're a member, doesn't matter. You can't go in there and say, oh, you can't bring a claim or defend a claim at all. The only way you can do that is with trust or with the individual. And the individual, good luck. Because you got a lot of jurisdiction against that thing. A lot. A space LOT. Do you understand what I'm saying? I hope you're picking up what I'm putting down. I really do. I really do. It's not money. It's not money. You can go and get silver certificates, gold certificates from, and it looks almost the same as the currency that you think you have, and it's worthless. It's not worth. Listen, they got $300 trillion bills from Zimbabwe, whatever. Oh, that's over in Africa. Okay. Did you look at the loss of purchasing power since the inception of that Federal Reserve note? No, I'm not looking at that because I can still get my cable. There's things going on that, listen, you ever felt like you were under a spell? You ever felt like something was just not right, but you just couldn't put your finger on it? If you could put your finger on it and scratch it, how deep would you go? I'm convinced. As far as I'm concerned, listen. Trustee training, trust administration is a requirement because, we're all part of a family. And the state and the United States did not give you life, breath, animation, intention, or energy. I don't see why the state or the federal government should require that you give up a portion of your energy and your assets every paycheck, man. Every single paycheck. And people would say, what do I do? Start a business. You can start a business while you're working. Oh, that's too much. That's too hard. Take responsibility. Stop it. Because you're only hurting yourself and your family. This is a man who's seen the benefits to himself and his family screaming at you. Listen, this is the most affordable, comprehensive trustee training you will find in America. North, South, in English. I don't know. It might be, who knows? There's private groups everywhere. You just don't know. And they keep quiet because we're beasts and we don't know it. And we'll argue with you if you try to tell us the truth. Snap at you. Tell you you're lying. Or acknowledge the truth, say you're right, and not do anything about it. Just keep doing the same thing. It's amazing. Don't be those people. I know you already thought about getting trustee training. I know you did. So, because, the smartest people I know this stuff. Smarter than me. Like, yo, I am mute around these people because I just want to listen and learn. And, man, this, what I'm teaching, and people are like, oh, trust, bro. It's like putting your socks on in the morning. Like, hey, you deal with trust? What? What do you mean? Trust? Are you serious? You talking about private trust, right? Contract? Yeah, I'm talking about contract. You just now learning about that? It's like asking them, hey, did you put your socks on today? What? Of course I put my socks on today. What is your problem? Those are the type of people, look, I don't speak. I don't speak. But I'm telling you, this is coming from a man who has witnessed it. Never done things, and I'm a private man, but I've shared some things over the years, accomplishments and whatnot. But I'm a very private man. Done things that I never thought I'd be able to do. And not just me, with my family, man. Because I learned this stuff. I studied it almost as if my life depended on it because I comprehended. I was like, okay, that's what it is. You just probably, maybe on YouTube. Who knows? And just come across it. You don't understand what I had to do? I wish upon a star that it only, all I had to pay was $1,000 to sign up and $10 a month. Man, I spent $25 just getting the trust information. That's not the private family foundation information, not including that. And that was just a business trust. I had to get on with the family trust. And this training teaches you all of them, except for a private family foundation, of course, because that's tax exempt. The beneficiaries, the public, you can get into a lot of trouble. We require that you have trustee training, or you can just show that you are, some type of scholar in trust administration. Otherwise, there's no conversation with regards to a private family foundation. It's tax exempt, but it's private. And you're like, oh, well, why would I do a tax-exempt corporation? Why is there a Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and not a Bill and Melinda Gates Corporation? Why is there a Clinton Foundation and not a Clinton tax-exempt corporation? Think about it. Just think about it, man. Just think about it. And the things that are going on, you're gonna have to protect yourself. You have to do different things to get a different result. If you want to go somewhere you've never been, you have to do things you've never done. If you want to go to a neighborhood you've never been to, you have to drive or walk down streets you've never walked or driven down to get into that neighborhood. How else are you gonna get there? If you've been there, you've been on those streets. It's that simple. And start a business. You got a job? I got a job. I'm doing it. Start a business. $100. Link in the description. Start a business. No timer, no test, no nothing. Just straight information. Learn at your own pace. It's the same thing with trust administration training, trustee training. Same thing. Except for this one, it's a one-time deal. Trustee training is because we add to the videos on a regular basis. That's why there's a monthly. That's why. People ask, why is there a monthly? Because there are updated videos. We keep making them. We look at a bunch of questions. I'll think of something. Someone else will think of something. We keep making them. And you have you have access 2:00 at night, 4:00 at night. There's no business hours with regards to your trustee training. It's really important. It's one of the, I think, listen, it's one of the most important things ever. It's one of the biggest things that helped change my family's life and my life financially. Then you got emotional and you got spiritual, and I can't help you with that. But financial, just stability, just knowing that, hey, man, they can sue me right now for whatever just happened, and they're not going to get anything because I don't own anything. Quote, I, the individual. I don't own anything, so sue me. I'm helping a really close friend of mine through probate right now. Lost his parents. I would tell you right now, if you even had the opportunity to learn trust administration, to facilitate the transition of your wealth or whatever to your heirs without having the state to do court dates and have personal representatives and trustees all up in your family business and accounts and all of this stuff, man. It's ridiculous. It's embarrassing. It's time consuming. People want to move on, man. Trust, you ain't got to deal with that. Same bank account. Successor trustee just goes in and shows their paperwork, the successor trustee paperwork, shows their identification. They sign on to the account. It's the same account. They get access to the funds right away. No court date, man. No court date. No court date. You understand what I'm saying? No court date. If any of you who've been through probate, you know what I'm saying. Now imagine that never happened and you just had to spend a week going to different banks and so on and so forth, updating your name as trustee on the accounts. The home isn't part of probate. Why? It's paid off and it's titled in a trust. There's trustees, there's beneficiaries. We don't need no help, state of Florida. We don't need no help, state of California. We don't need no help, state of Georgia. We're good. Y'all handle y'all public stuff. We'll handle our private stuff. That's the way it's supposed to be. That's why we're so messed up. That's why there's something going on that we can't put our finger on. Like, what is it? What is it? It's because you and your family do not know how to privately do business and interface with the commercial realm. It's because you're ignorant and you must use structures that are not yours and created by states, governments, for you to participate in commerce. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's a shame. I felt ashamed. I felt shame when I realized that. Link in the description. I know I'm ranting. I'm not trying to make you feel bad. It's all about love. We have this at our fingertips. We have this available. It's all about, are we going to act? Are we going to be responsible? Are we going to do something different so we can achieve a different result? That's all I'm saying. I love y'all. And I'm a father. And anyone knows who's had a father that loved them. Your father's going to push you. Your mom will make you feel better, but your father's going to push you. Your father's not going to say anything, or he's going to tell you the truth. And he's going to expect you to do what you can. He's going to expect better from you. A brother, very same. Because I'm a brother as well. A brother is going to want the best for you. A brother is going to expect you to take care of yourself and do the best for yourself. Because in me being your brother, you are an extension and representation of not only the family, but also me. So as your brother, so L, this is all in love. It's because I know you don't understand, because if you did, you'd be in trustee training. You'd make it happen. You would remember that part of you that makes things happen. You would call on that part of you that gets it done, no matter what. Those days where you were sick, you didn't feel like going to work, or there's all types of scenarios. But you know yours, what your scenarios are. And everybody has them. Well, no matter what, you got it done, or you achieved something that really surprised you. You deserve that feeling again. And we get certain, age groups, and you know what I mean? And we feel like we've experienced it all, or, there's nothing new under the sun, so on and so forth. That's cynical. Don't be cynical. You deserve to not have a complete cynical mind. I invite you to trust but verify. I really do. This will change your life. With that being said, I appreciate y'all. Y'all enjoy yourself. Take care of yourself. Make sure you say 10 things that you're thankful for before you go to sleep tonight and every night. It's very important. And I'll catch y'all on the next episode of The Foundation. Peace, y'all.